Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all things in between that we have to say because it's fucking 2021. Cool. Anyways, guys, welcome to ConserVengers. If you can't tell, it's not a perfectly clean show. This is a little bit later at night. This is a safe space for conservatives where we get to talk about and complain about and laugh about all the laughable things that is going on in this world, which is absolutely terrifying. But we've got Kevin from Liberty Revolt. We got Easy E. Suni should be hopping on shortly. I know a lot of you guys are joining us from Cash's channel. Why? Because I put it on Cash's channel as well, because the BetheChange page on YouTube is no longer there. I'm going to try to get everybody transferred over to the BTC the backup page, and I'm putting that in the comment box below right now. But we are just about ready to get started. We're going to kick the tires, light the fires. If you could do us a favor, hit the like, hit the heart, hit the thumbs up. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and swipe those comments off to the side if you're on your phone and hit some of the thumbs up and hearts. That's how we get the algorithm bumping. That's how we get the party started. And yes, Elizabeth, I saw that you got a house. I saw your Facebook message. And we are going to give a quick update on Cash. Haven't talked a ton to him this week, but we have talked a little bit. I know you guys have seen Erica's post. So let's get the party started in 30 seconds right here on Be The Change. What's going on, everybody? It's Anthony from Be The Change. I hope everybody's having a great day. Gentlemen, if I could have Easy or Kevin really quick check the regular Be The Change YouTube page. Some people are saying it's actually working, which would be fantastic. So if that's working, let me know. Either way, guys, we're going to have a fun show. Suni is on her way. I know she just hopped in, and she'll be here shortly. And Cash, again, will give a quick update.
Seeing it.
It's up. They let it stay up. Holy
There's
cow.
28 viewers right now.
All right.
On, buddy.
Good to know. That's impressive. Oh, I can actually see it right here. There we go. All right, we got Cash. We'll go ahead and leave Cash's page up too because we want to give an update on him. I'll go ahead and probably take that down once we start talking about anything that could get anything taken down because I don't want to get his page taken down, and hopefully nothing we say gets taken down, but who fucking knows anymore? Anyways.
Who knows?
The standards, well, if they knew what the standards were, they still wouldn't tell us. So
who knows? I feel like Cash now, though, because it's fitting that I put Cash up there because Cash used to get banned from Facebook. Kevin, you probably don't know this. I don't know how long Easy's been watching, but Cash would actually have like a 1-month ban and then just go live on Facebook. And for some odd reason, he'd have like 2,000 viewers when he wasn't even supposed to be allowed to go live. And I have no idea. So maybe I got a little Cash good luck. Anyways, go ahead.
They put a POC asterisk next to his name.
Yes.
They know they can't actually ban him because then they'll be accused of, the big R word.
Yes. Reticulating arteries. Okay.
Yes,
Easy.
that one.
What's going on, brother? Talk to us. Have you sobered up from a couple weeks ago?
I mean, I'm doing my best, right? I mean, when you get older, those things tend to last a little longer, but I'm feeling a little better tonight. So, we'll rock and roll. We'll see.
Kevin, what's cracking?
Dude, I've been doing radio all day. I just want to shoot the shit and not have to really watch what I'm saying anymore. So, yeah, dude. Catch me on. Oh, I've been doing a morning show. That's what I meant to say. I did one morning show, so that constitutes I've been doing a morning show. Check me out on the Liberty Revolt page. Common Nonsense with Kevin. So, got that going.
Nonsense. That's clever. I like that. Suni, is your microphone on? Well, we'll catch her later. She's she hopped on. She said, "Hey, I'm here." We have not seen her, so she should be up pretty soon. As a reminder, guys, please hit the like, the thumbs up, the hearts. If you would like to support everything that we do, please become a Patreon. Bottom of the page right now, patreon.com/BetheChange USA. That's right, patreon.com/BetheChange USA. All that's doing is helping a completely non-profitable cause in any way, shape, or form. So that helps us. That gets all of our stuff put up on all the different pages as we proceed forward. And also, you guys get a little bit extra. Actually, I was supposed to make a Getting Over the Hump Wednesday, which I'll give a late night edition of tonight when we are done with this. So that'll be up there just for you guys. And any extra stuff. Anytime we get Cash that writes something specifically to you guys, he sends it. And it's the best way to directly interact, easy for me to see it. And that starts at $5 a month. Moving on from that, last but not least, the podcast. If you want to hear any of our shows, including Questions Unraveled with Emily, I know as Matta starts to come back, that'll be also up on the podcast page for hashtag BetheChange, as well as Truth Will Set You Free, which we took off this week, and, of course, ConserVengers and Changemakers. Anyways, that's where you find that. Hashtag BetheChange.com/podcast, and it's on all the major podcast networks. And with the censorship that's going on, that may be our pièce de la résistance, the last place that we are able to actually throw stuff up, but I have a feeling even that isn't necessarily safe, so who knows. Anyway,
fish faces.
Fish faces? Who said fish faces? Are you doing fish faces?
I said I loved your French.
Faces.
Oh, my French. Man. We got a Suni fan club right here. I've seen her make a couple comments. Suni, you're being beckoned. Would you get your ass to this? Oh, there's. It's like she's
making. Yeah, the intentional late appearances. She had to build some suspense.
Ashley's excited you're on. Suni is muted as usual. And
no, I'm just guys, it's all right. You don't have to be jealous, you know.
You're running on different time, right?
I'm running on mom time.
Time.
That's more valid than the one that Eric was insinuating, so
what did you insinuate?
I am offended.
What was it? Because I'm colored?
Black time.
Somebody
trapped.
We got so much to talk about today. We're going to talk about the mail-in ballots now for California. Shocking timing for Newsom that because of these shutdowns. A little fun fact: we're not going to talk much about this, but the New York Auto Show was canceled again this year. Further finding a way to drive me into the poorhouse. And then we've got, maskless AOC. I didn't even tell Suni this. Maskless AOC, that's a new video. Dancing outside the Capitol and then putting her mask back on. We're going to show that video. Thank you, Billy Bob, for sending that to me. Lindsey Graham, I just have issues with his statement about the V word. And let's see, what else we talk? Oh, and of course, Cuomo comparison to Jell-O pudding pops. Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, more like it. Jeez.
Yeah. So I'm Italian. I like to kiss people on the face. You know, it's what we do in our culture. It's no big deal. Forget about it. I mean, I grabbed their ass one time. Forget about it.
My last name is very Italian, and I don't know if I've ever done that. So, come on, Cuomo.
The same people, and we'll start with that. The same people that were yelling at Kavanaugh for a woman that came out of the woodwork 36 friggin' years later are dead silent right now. And
30. I was going to say 36-ish because she doesn't know the exact date, so we don't know the exact date, so it's an ish.
Do you realize that was never retracted, by the way? Because in the end, another guy came forward and said that sounded like something that happened between us. Not quite. There was no rape involved, but everything about the setting was the same, and it was never retracted. It was literally a guy going, that was me. Months later, nobody gave a shit. Anyways, so Suni, you take the lead on this bad boy because I know you've been talking a lot about the Cosby-Cuomo comparison.
I'm just telling people to keep that same energy. I mean, when Bill Cosby got accused, everybody was like, believe women. He's a perv. Why would he do that? Yeah, it's like crickets out here. You guys notice? You see anybody posting? Everybody's just like, well, he's a part of deep state, so he's not going to be held accountable. So you just don't call for any accountability because he's a politician. Like, that shit is just
Biden. Biden got asked. He didn't speak up. Biden said he should step down. I was actually impressed. Granted, Biden didn't know who he was talking about, but regardless, Biden said he should step down. Kevin, go ahead.
I was going to say, he has pierced nipples, Cuomo does, so I don't think he's necessarily a part of the establishment.
That was going to be one of my points.
He's 60 some odd years old and he's still got the rods going in his nips. 63. Just pointing it out there.
Do you guys, Asuna, you remember when we showed that video, right? Back when with the
Yes.
nipple piercings? It's
I
like
remember that.
this guy. Now, you do you. I've got no issues with nipple piercings on a dude. I think it's a little odd to be the governor of New York, but I'm not going to lie. It's not going to look good when it comes to sexual harassment because there is no such thing as a straight-laced sexual guy. I'm not saying he's not straight, but I'm saying a straight-laced in terms of like not into weird things like playing grab ass or like, how about you come hang out with my wife and I in the hot tub? Pink flamingos in the front yard.
Pain.
I hope she's in it. Like all these different things. Like there's got like, that's not helping a case. Easy. What do you think?
Well, did you guys see his? Just 1 second, because Easy always interrupts us, especially me. Did you see his like cringeworthy response?
Excuse
montage?
Yeah.
Well, look, I touch people like this all the time. He's got random pictures of him grabbing people's chins and face, and it's because my mother and my father taught me how to grab people's faces and kiss them in the mouth.
Did you hear though how he said he goes, I grab men, women, old people.
Look, no one's gonna accuse him of discrimination in his sexual harassment. So
he did a really long pause before young people because even him, when he looks at the script, is like, "This is a bad idea." It's like, I do men, women, old people, and young people, LGBTQ.
Imagine how much respect you would have for the man that's going young people, like that's like men, women, yeah. All right, y'all. You know what? I did it. I gotta stop right here. I can't keep going. All right. I'm at a loss because, like, the thing is, it's like, yeah, my parents taught me to do it. Well, some people's parents taught them to be a racist. Does that make it okay? So, at what point, like, I thought part of growth and development,
Yeah, right. Yeah. Easy. Go ahead.
The most amazing part of this is that people's memories are so short that they forget that they've buried Anthony Weiner.
Yep.
They forgot they buried the charity claims. They forgot, and so when I look at the situation, I'm like, this is just par for the course, guys. Like
Ralph Northam
came out and I think did an incredibly intelligent thing if you're trying to protect a politician, which is they found him civilly guilty. In other words, they came out and said, yes, this person has violated these things, and they will pay a civil penalty. And the whole world is confused right now because they think he's in trouble. So it's a very good play on words. And I think people are missing what they've done here, which is they're taking the snippet, they're running it from the DA who accuses him of these things being done, finds him essentially guilty, and never, ever, ever refers to this as a criminal activity. Now, I think there will be criminal charges that may come from this. But they have tricked, for now, everybody into believing that he is in trouble when in reality he has no intentions of stepping away from the job. He has no intentions of being apologetic about the way he acted. And to be quite frank, this is how they have been doing this for 10 years. And we've silently sat by and listened and thought, well, eventually one of these people has to go to jail. And none of them are.
Well, the thing is that sexual harassment in the workplace is not a criminal penalty. It is a civil liability.
In New York, it is.
It is in New York. That's going to be interesting then, because that just means that most likely women weren't willing to testify under threat of perjury or something like that, or that they're going to get ready to, because you are right that the civil side of things, like, that doesn't mean he's not going to be charged criminally as well. But the thing is that attorney general, the one that's laying all the charges, is probably next in line for the governorship. So there might be a little bit of some kind of like, you're screwed, buddy, going on here.
Yeah. I wonder if he ever used the pickup line, "Did you see how I buried Wiener?" Anyway, but real quick, I forgot to talk about Cash. So a couple cool things. I talked to Pastor Jay, Cash's pastor, and I know we got some people on Cash's page on this one, since I thought that our YouTube was not going to be working. But anyways, Pastor Jay, he should be starting a show on God and religion and having another pastor with him very, very soon. We're just waiting to see if his partner in crime is going to be allowed to do it. So it's going to be very cool for him to be on. Him and I talked a little bit about Cash. If you haven't seen some of the posts on Erica's page, he's having actually a lot of good days lately. He's just every so often he snaps on people because it does turn out that some of the people in the jail, and this is an important message to our very right crowd, which is there's people that are showing their true colors under stress in jail, and there are people that probably had some white supremacist background to them, and they're showing it now that they've been put under stress for 6 months. Now, does that mean I don't know what to say about them, but a lot of N-bombs dropping, a lot of this and a lot of stuff like that, and not in the way of not in the cool way. So Cash just wanted to say that not everybody's perfect in there. However, he's referring to like 2 or 3 people, maybe 4. The rest of everybody in there is incredibly cool, but there is a couple people that he's like, these are probably people that started shit. And but that's pretty much it. That's the update on Cash. He's surviving and no movement whatsoever. That was his jail where Marjorie Green and those people showed up and were denied entrance. And they still have, there's just no recourse that can be done. And as you all know, Cash would be in there either way. As most of you guys know, he would still be in jail. It doesn't matter. He'd be in prison for the other crimes, but he is not able to, everybody else in there has no current sentencing, but he is not able to get an appeal until this is said and done, an appeal on the sentence. So that gives you guys the update of what's going on with Cash. I know I'm on his page, so I wanted to make sure that I did that. So, yeah. Moving back to Cuomo being a pervert. Let's see.
What's really crazy is
just real quick. Can I answer that question regarding the military?
I forgot I was gonna bring that up. Do you want to? Are we done with Cuomo and Cosby?
I don't know. Are you guys done with Cuomo?
Done.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, this is new news that tomorrow there should be something coming out. I don't know where it went. The question was, where was it? Sugar Shane Mosley. Here it is. Mark. I thought it said Mark Wahlberg. I was like, damn, we got clout.
We got the Hollywood elites.
Yeah. Suni, what's your husband think of the military mandated vaccination that could be coming out tomorrow?
So what people don't know is there is a section in the military's code of conduct or whatever you want to call it. I wish I could remember. It's a regulation, but pretty much they have to, if you so choose, you do not have to get something that is not FDA approved. It does not matter if the Pentagon has sent down recommendations. At the end of the day, it is still a recommendation. It is not mandatory. We can use an Army regulation, I think it's like AR-40, to where they have to test you for antibodies first.
Careful, Suni, careful. Joe Biden thinks that's a gun. He thinks the AR-40 is a gun.
Okay, AR-40. Hang on, I wish I could remember the rest of it, but go Google this. There are exemptions, okay? You can get tested for antibodies, and if you have the antibodies, there's no need for a vaccination. Military, service members, and DoD dependents absolutely have rights when it comes to this. Number one, it's still in its testing phases. It is not FDA approved. Lloyd Austin can send down all the recommendations he wants. Mandates are not laws. We don't have to abide by them. When it is FDA approved, absolutely every service member will be required to get it, but it is not FDA approved, and we still have an exemption we can use, period. This is all a scare tactic, all right? I don't really comment on what's going on here because I just don't pay attention to it. We are locked down. When I tell you, you cannot leave this island unless you have a vaccine, you can't leave the island. You can't go to restaurants. You can't go walk inside of a mall. But guess what? I still do all that, and I dare somebody to say something to me.
So they're supposed to be asking you for a vaccine card, but they don't.
That's not even required here as far as vaccinations or like vaccine cards. But it's almost like Hitler and the brown shirts. If somebody sees you, they're supposed to go report it and say, "Hey, you're not vaccinated, and I saw this person here." Nobody has said a word. I still do everything I want to do, whether I have the vaccine or not. Now, my husband, he's a little different because he is leadership. You know, he's a staff sergeant. He's required to carry himself in a certain way, which is why I understand why he doesn't do the things that I do. but he is vocal. They have meetings about these things, and he definitely is going to be bringing up a lot of different things. I cannot discuss it on here, but for people concerned about the military, we have exemptions. We have things that we can use. This is not FDA approved. The Pentagon sends down a lot of recommendations. It is up to leadership, and it is up to whoever the commander is at the end of the day.
The FDA exemption, the exemption for the FDA is good for now. But again, and I've said this, I say this every week when we talk about it, to our audience, the whole purpose of what we're doing is trying to educate people for conversation. If you are trying to have conversation with people. And when we do the whole throw out, like, I'm not taking it because it's not FDA approved yet, or look, it's only under EUA. Guess what? It will be FDA approved at one point.
Absolutely.
Despite anything that could be deemed reverse research. So we can't use that. SUNY can use that 100% in this case. The military can use that for now, but this is not a permanent thing, period, bar none. Kevin.
This is, yeah. So, I was going to say, because like having done the military thing as well, the problem is that there is a legitimate case to be made. If it's cleared in the next month, like what in the heck? Never do vaccines actually get cleared this fast, and that is for a reason. There is long-term research indicates more than 18 months. I don't know a single scientific study that would consider 18 months to be long-term research. But again, who even knows what science is anymore? Apparently, the scientific process is now synonymous with Jesus Christ himself, except instead of Jesus Christ, it's like Jesus the chemist. And go ahead. I was just going to say, there's just too much of a reasonable argument to be made that even if it gets approved next month, that is purely a political approval, and that is not actually backed up by the idea of long-term research, because there's just not enough. Like, it hasn't even been 2 years. It has not even been 2 years. You cannot tell me it's enough.
Right.
One of the things that strikes me every time we talk about this is, and I think you touched on this, it's really important, is you're a dependent at this point in time, which means you're a citizen. You're not in the military yourself. So there's something that strikes me, and this is the most stark example I could think of, and when you said it, it hit me. It's like what they're doing is they're separating people, whether you've got this thing or you don't have this thing, and they're encouraging private companies to do it. They're going to encourage in the military for it to happen. And the deal is, in my opinion, they've successfully already ripped the generational family apart over this issue. You have the older generation saying, I can't be around the younger generation because I fear for my life and all of this whoop-de-whoop. And just on that level, I just want to point out, like, if SUNY continues to maintain her position, right, and they choose something else, right, that creates an immediate division in the family, which I just think is an interesting parallel to everything else going on right now. They want to divide families. Like, that's the goal here. And to say that's not part of the ideology that's played out, I think I just wanted to point that out, even though this isn't the serious time to talk about it. I just
Oh, it is.
had
You're
to
good.
jump in there with that.
And there's so many things out there, because I mean, part of this, Eric, or Easy, sorry, is that this is a safe space for us to complain. This is where we put our complaints. This is where we be Karens and Chads. So, like, there's things that aren't being talked about as mind-boggling. Like, for example, like the timing of all of this. Let's look at the timing, and we'll get into the Newsom thing in a bit. But in the last couple of weeks, whatever they're doing is being very successful. This is the most amount of people that have been vaccinated per week since this all started. People, they're finally, the middle ground crowd is finally being transferred over. Couple reasons. First off, the doses are about to reach expiration. So you've got the midterms coming up next year. You've got the Newsom issue. You've got just this whole thing with Arizona. You know what I'm talking about there. And it's perfectly timed right now for the power structure to remain in place. And it will potentially, as we've said, probably be an issue all of a sudden end of next summer as well. But there's fun fact with these vaccines. So 2 of the companies have extended the expiration date 2 times. So people right now are taking expired vaccines, but they're saying they're still fine. So now it's comical at this point. And I think the third one is about to be. So it's perfect timing that they are pushing this holy crap Delta variant, which I did a poster. Kevin, go ahead. I'll talk about the Delta thing in a second. Go ahead.
I have a question. Were they lying when they said that it would expire on the first time or the second time or the third time? Like, at what point were they lying because they wanted more shots to be sold?
So I go ahead, Studio.
Man. Okay. So I kind of made myself, since we're talking about COVID, I made myself famous on Island, guys. People now notice me. They're like, yo, you're that girl. And I'm like, yeah, sorry. So I went on like one of the biggest groups here on Facebook. And I said, how many service members have died from COVID?
Probably around 0. Hey, also professional athletes, Suni. How many professional athletes in any sport have died?
Listen.
There's been athletes that have been rushed to the hospital within a week of getting the
vaccine.
There was one who had leukemia. There was one professional athlete who had been diagnosed with leukemia who got COVID and died.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one.
He was a soccer player.
Right, but he has what we would call
a comorbidity. Yeah.
Right, a comorbidity. Exactly.
Yeah. They're talking about the headlines. They're like, we need to get the V words in people's hands so we can stop having these sad headlines. Or we could stop making sad headlines out of the limited amount of times it's happening. They are, I swear to God, this is alleged. This is my guess. The stories of the people on their deathbed that were unvaccinated telling people, I'm sorry, I should have been, when they're dying, saying I should have been smarter. Right. I should have gotten vaccinated. I want to see what their family's bank account looks like after making that statement, because most people that I know are going to take this to the bone. I told Kelly, I said, if I'm on my deathbed, if they offer me any dollar amount of money, absolutely not. Do not let me take it in that moment. And share my story with the world. Like absolutely not. There's no way these people are all of a sudden going, dag nabbit, I just feel like I wasn't informed properly.
Facts. But I asked that question. I was like, how many have died? And everybody was like, well, 0, but why does it matter? I said, so if 0 have died, a total of 236 people on this island have died. A total 236. You're telling me 236 people are dead due to a deadly virus. None of those people were service members. They were all locals. Majority of them were older. We don't all wear masks. We don't all follow the mandates that are passed down. Why did you need a vaccine? And how do you feel after you got the vaccine? Because your vaccine was bullshit. And this post went
allegedly bullshit.
Nuts. Alleged whatever. It went nuts. Like, it went viral and everybody was freaking out, but nobody could really just grasp what I was saying. 0 service members are dead. 0.
I make you a bet there might be some COVID deaths in the military based on the fact they probably got shot on the battlefield and they ended up, they're like, I had trouble breathing right before he died and we checked him. Well, we ran the PCR. We ran the PCR 742 times and we picked up some COVID. That's the COVID.
Let me give you the more realistic way that someone dies of COVID in the military. Like I saw in my unit, they're in a training exercise and they have a guy out of the hatch in a striker and it rolls over and it kills him. That is a COVID death.
God. Hey,
guys, the sad part is
that's
actually how we track our stats, though. That is literally how we track these stats. Like, if somebody goes into the hospital with a freaking knife through their heart and they test them for COVID, they list them as a COVID death. They get paid 30 grand.
Dude, Louder with Crowder checked into this. The third, when the New York Times, I think it was, printed a list, the third name on the list had been shot. The third name on the list was literally death by gunshot to the head, I believe, and it was listed at a COVID death.
Jeanette, I have news for you. This is actually not reaching. I love you, but this is not reaching. This is real. No. This is actually...
The
Can
other
I bring one more argument when you're done, Eric? I'm going to bring one more argument. People are probably going to get pissed, but I don't care.
Go ahead.
The other statistic that we track that's funny like this, that the CDC tracks, is when, for example, if you're driving, okay, and you consumed cannabis in the last 30 days, and you run over somebody, get in a car accident, and then they take your blood, guess what? Your death counts as a marijuana death or a cause of death. So, like, people have to understand
insurance
how the
loves stoners.
tracks these stats. This is just the equivalent of that with something that's these are totally unassociated things.
Yeah, Candy, send me a Facebook message.
30 days later, still be smoked. I'm sorry, like that's just not how it works. But if you get tested, your blood will say cannabis consumed, and it goes to the CDC as a death caused by cannabis.
Not even one marijuana in my body. Not even one.
Not even one marijuana is in my bodies.
Candy, send me a Facebook message to BetheChange if you could. Thank you. All right, Suni, go ahead.
Sorry, Suni, go ahead.
Okay, so 80% of service members are vaccinated. I'm going to say publicly, now this is publicly, 0 adverse effects have been reported. 0.
Interesting.
So my theory on this is not everybody is actually getting the vaccine. They're giving people placebo.
Allegedly. This is a theory, to be very clear. This is just a theory.
Yo, Occam's razor, really quick. It is more believable that the U.S. military is so bad at identifying people who are suffering adverse reactions.
No, we're talking about the Air Force, man. The Air Force is a rich
I'm telling you.
Come on.
It's the best out of the military. The best out of a shit soup is still a shit soup. So like it's still the military. It's still same pay scale. So I don't trust these doctors would be able to say, yeah, that's definitely from the vaccine. These guys are probably just dropping dead. It's like, oh, should have taken more Motrin and drink a little more water. It's okay, bud. You'll get over it.
You said Motrin. That is a key word. Any service member knows. Yo, you got a broke leg? I wish I had my Motrin bottle, 800 milligrams. Here you go.
Motrin. Yeah, Motrin and water, man. That's all you need. Gunshot to the chest here. Motrin and water.
Which is actually different than how Suni was raised, because back then it was Tussin. Just put some Tussin on it.
Facts.
Shake it up. I'm almost out of Tussin. Put some more water in it. Shake it up. Mo-Tussin. Was that a Chris Rock thing?
You got that last.
I don't know. I don't like Chris Rock, except for his
Bigger and Blacker was
niggas and black folks.
Dude, that is the most controversial.
No sex in the champagne room, okay?
See, Bigger and Blacker to me was one of the best stand-ups I've ever seen. In some ways, better than anything Chappelle can do. Chappelle's show is by far better, but the Chris Rock Bigger and Blacker, when he talked about like black and white, and he legit was talking about it, he's like, he was talking about the crippled white guy in the upper like area, like sweeping the floors, and he's like, that guy up there, he's sweeping floors. I'm black and I'm rich, and I said, would you trade places with me? And he's like, I still wouldn't trade places with you. And I was like, okay. It's like back when my uncle was growing up, like he didn't have trouble getting a cab. He was the cab. He's like, people jump on his back. Hey, homie, you gotta take a left. He didn't say homie. Okay, I'm done. All right. Real quick, if anybody out here is from Dallas, I keep forgetting to mention on August 14th.
Who is Kelly Harder? Like, who the hell is that?
She's commenting. They're going back and forth because she gave an explanation of why vaccines don't have a long time. So people are kind of chewing her out over it when really it doesn't matter.
No, I'm talking about the latest.
Yeah.
First of all,
that looks suspicious.
First of all, yeah, come on, bro.
What's that? Zero. There was zero because doctors do not report.
So the point she made earlier was that most vaccine tests for vaccines such as the flu and stuff do not undergo very extensive testing at all, like at any point. So if that is the case, then maybe I would personally just relook at the standards. But that last little bit, there is. You learn this when you're getting out of the military, especially when it comes to applying for disability in the VA and everything like that. They will fight tooth and nail to not admit anything that happened to you was service related. They ignore everything that happens. I am making a joke, but I'm not actually making a joke when I say I do not believe in the competence of Army, Navy doctors to be able to actually identify people that are going through negative side effects from COVID, because they don't even most leadership doesn't even want to let their soldiers go to sick call to begin with. So if they're trying to go to sick call after the vaccine and stuff like that, after the quarantine, I know if one of my soldiers had been away for 15 days, I wasn't going to let him go to sick call. Not me personally, but that was the man.
When did
the
you guys
mindset.
get out? When did you guys get out?
I got out in 2018.
When did Kelly get out? Because I'm about to tell you,
Kelly's
the military is woke. All right, I for the first time, probably it's been 10 years, over 10 years. For the first time, when I went to the doctor, I had a diagnosis within the first 5 minutes that I was there. They don't want these problems, man. There are service members that complain about the most ridiculous stuff. Did you hear about the major that wrote a letter because he had to live in enlisted housing, and he's like, "This is not right." I have leadership. Guess what? They moved his ass out, bro.
Shut up.
They moved him out. I swear to God.
The military is. Do you guys understand why it is that the military has made this sudden woke push? Like, even when I was in,
they got to be ready to institute the new culture.
Well, the thing is that during Donald Trump's presidency, what was the mantra that I remember using it. Look, I'm not too worried. We're in charge of the military. So if the Civil War ever happens, the military is going to be on our side. There's nothing they can do. What is like us? Yeah, what is that doing? That's like, hey, here's a giant sign pointing out what your next target needs to be. Just
nobody's
you need to work on
save our ass this time.
Yeah, so they realized that they had to take the military, and there's plenty of people near the top of the military. These guys have been sucking dick their entire lives to get where they're at. They don't mind sucking a little bit more to get a little bit more power. So these
people want income stability.
Yeah, you guys. I am so lucky that I'm a veteran, so I can say this shit. Every officer that's at the top basically has been sucking dick to get there. Like, they're the only people who have ever used their army-issued knee pads, okay? These people, these are the only ones. These are the only ones who are putting scuff marks on this shit to get to the top. Trust me, they will go with whatever the hell they have to do.
Allegedly sucking dick. Okay, go ahead.
No,
allegedly.
Listen. They're sucking major dick. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. They don't watch me on here. Nobody knows I'm talking, so I can get a little bit of leeway. They literally were talking about how can we make people want to get this because of the pressure from the Pentagon. The officers suck dick.
Yes.
Enlisted men suck dick. They sit in the office. They push papers. They don't have to interact with the regular NCOs or your enlisted men. They have no effing clue what's going on, yo. They even live in a separate side of the base.
Yup. There's a huge divide between officers and enlisted that should not exist anymore, but does. But then there's a huge divide between the people that have been in for 15 years and everyone else. If you're not staying in your entire time, I noticed this as soon as I said I was getting out. I was the shit, man. Like, I was not a shit, like in the good way. I was a giant piece of shit all of a sudden. And so it's like it's a toxic. Like, there is a respect that service members need to do that, but we owe it to these service members, especially our junior enlisted, the privates and specialists and everything that make up the bulk of our military. We owe it to them because they're the ones that get shit on the most, to hold the people in these militaries accountable. And I'm sorry, it's so toxic because, again, when you're an officer in the military, you become a professional cock goblin. Okay, that's like all you do.
Allegedly. Can I make the quick transition from shit because it's a perfect segue to the Delta variant. Again, the military stuff.
Ask your superior officer first.
Yeah, we have to talk.
Get your knee pads out.
Excuse me, can I get my volleyball knee pads out? Real quick, for those that are watching from Dallas, mark your calendars, August 14th. I will be at a place called Your Mom's House in Fort Worth. We'll be shooting. It's literally called Your Mom's House. Kevin just spit that out. It's a very cool looking bar. We'll be shooting a show from noon to 2. It'll be up on the BetheChange page. If you would like to join me and meet me, they're opening it up just for us to do this show of these guys from Chicago. Moving on. Back to the shit thing. So I posted on my wall today. I said, because I started having a conversation actually with Kelly Harder's friend regarding a nurse. We have some nurses that are starting to speak up. And the question I posed was, because this whole thing is a scare, in my opinion, tactic with the Delta variant. And I said, are your hospitals testing for the Delta variant? And nobody can say how or what they are. There was one person that is a nurse out of Minnesota, I think, that said they're sending the samples off afterwards. Other people were saying their hospital said they can't afford it. How in this country do we know the percentage of Delta variant is so high, except for very small test groups, almost like polling, but from very, very, very small areas? With that said, why did I say shit was the perfect segue? Because the most credible response I was getting is they're testing the sewage in cities and municipalities. It's SUNY. I'm not fucking kidding. This is real. They're testing
they do this.
sewage. They're testing the sewage to see if there is the Delta. That's how they're getting the Delta variant. If it's in the sewage, they're saying this area is populated with it. So how we are all of a sudden creating this magical Delta variant percentage, we're at 80% Delta, 20% is fucking possible. Unless you just believe everything you see on TV. Anyways, had to bring that shitty situation up. Poopy.
I mean, I'll say this really quickly. It's a really shitty job to have to dig through shit to find out about COVID. So,
and who thought, yo, let's go through the sewage to test for Delta variant? Like, who thought that? I want to know.
It's out of the Batman movie. They put shit in the water in the main pipes, and right.
There's a lot of very incredibly infectious diseases that start in fecal matter. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're constantly testing what's present for a lot of things. But when you've been discussing an aerosolized disease that I'm supposed to, it's like apparently now what I'm supposed to interpret this as is that when I'm interacting people, in order for me to get the Delta variant, I have to do a quick swipe and throw it at them, if you will. Like, you know, that's apparently that's how we're spreading the disease.
I came up with my own COVID variant that's spreading. Did you guys see it?
No.
You seen it?
I saw it.
Yo, you don't even know how many inboxes I got. And they were like,
variant C, right? What you're talking about?
You're being so insensitive. Why are you playing about this? And I was like, because you all are suffering from it. And you just need 5 fingers to the face. Hard.
I do want to point out, I think I saw someone in the comments say that my comments very much offended them. If you don't believe what I have to say, I can bring every person I served with in the unit, and they'll use much more colorful language than I could ever muster. So just know that my shitting on officers in the military is because I truly love and care for the junior enlisted and junior NCOs that make up the gigantic bulk of our fighting force that are spending their entire career getting absolutely shat on by the politics of the people above them. We have a weak military because we have such disgustingly toxic leadership present within it. And if you don't believe me, why the hell is CRT so quickly spreading throughout the military? Faster than any other place you've seen it spread.
On the flip end of this, guys, there are smart people who do realize that this is full swing bullshit. I have a couple of friends that are active duty Marines. Like, they see this as actively just horse shit. They're not wanting to be involved, and they are making their voices heard as well. So
hell yeah,
they're not taking this rolling over. But I think Kevin's point earlier that he was making is that the younger generation doesn't know any better.
Nope.
The ones that have been in there for 18 months, 2 years, 5 years, maybe 10 years, even at this point, are being brought up in a completely different military than the one that we traditionally understand. And that's what goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, which is we think we can stand shoulder to shoulder with them, but really it's a numbers game at some point. And if they have the woke culture and they have the generation that's going to outlive the next, it's only one generation away.
Well,
and that's the longest it could be.
A weak military also means that we're less than one generation away from a world power saying, now is the time. Now is the time. I mean, we still have go ahead.
No, I'm just, it's you can see when the shift came. It really took a left when they started pushing for the down days, for the extremists. I remember This was probably like 5-6 months ago. They had a down day to talk about what extremist was and how you recognize it. And it was literally anybody who was conservative and voted for Trump. And all those guys that were part of those meetings, they finally spoke up. They were like, how are you going to label these people extremists? Like, what are we doing? You know, when they have down days to talk about the vaccines and the things they're going to be implementing and what they're doing, these men speak up. They're not afraid. Of course, they do so respectfully, but they're not afraid. And there are more people that are aware of what's going on, whether it's DOD members or active duty, or you're enlisted in your COs, your officers that are willing to speak up. They just are. Why do you think they're pushing so hard for the rest of us to get vaccinated? Because the rest of us are like, nah, bro, you tripping. I'm gonna need you to do some more testing. And if this testing
you hit me last with that.
Right. If I like it, I'll get it. If I don't, cool.
So I want you guys to know I'm having a side conversation, which is why I'm not focused. So one of our street lights from almost the beginning. I'm going to talk to her. Got 2 doses and is fighting like hard. She's getting getting blood transfusions since, not making red blood cells and potassium. Again, they're going to find a way. She reported it, but it was 2 weeks after the second dose. So that means they don't need to add it to VAERS. So that means it's probably not reported, but this is an otherwise healthy, slightly older woman that all of a sudden is fighting for her life, and we can't even talk about it. And that's why if the national average, we're getting close to that 70% threshold, right? We're getting close to 70% of the country vaccinated. But at the same time, if it's so obvious, and we're saying trust the experts, and there is a very equal balance of nurses, 60 to 70% that are vaccinated, that should be telling you something. These are front lines people that are seeing some of the stuff, and the nurses that I've started to talk to, and Truth will set you free next week. We're having a nurse on the show. We're going to have to hide her, who she is, but, and I'm actually might have a couple more people come on as well that are nurses, but they are starting to go, okay, I'm seeing too many questionable things. I'm going to say this very carefully, saying too many questionable things. And ultimately, our numbers about this 97.3% that, there's no issues with people being hospitalized is bullshit, because some places are not even reporting if they are if they have been vaccinated. The hospital system, get this, the hospital system in Florida that this woman works for has an intake form. On that intake form, it says, have you been vaccinated within 7 days? That's the only question. So all these people coming in, so in their charts, there is a place deep down, and as a veteran nurse, she actually did not even know where it was, nor was told. There is a place to put it. On top of that, there is no idea whether or not to know in the computer system, in the chart. It's not a checkable box. It's not being sent anywhere. So we have no idea how many of these cases are truly vaccinated and how many are truly unvaccinated. And if you don't think that's by design, that's absolute garbage. And the last thing I'm going to say on the V words until we get to Newsom, and we could talk more if you'd like, is Lindsey Graham's statement was absolutely mind-boggling. Did any of you guys see this?
Dude, I've been telling you that he was
his ass from a hole in the ground.
I've been telling you this motherfucker was a snake in the grass for as long as I can remember. Okay,
I called it when he started blaming Nancy Pelosi for the 6, and even before then, when he was like, Donald Trump is the most incompetent man I've ever met, and then spent the next 3 years kissing his ass, just like the rest of these rhinos. What did he say?
So
what is in the closet ass? I wish he would just come out.
And I will paraphrase. I will paraphrase.
Paraphrase.
Are you having a stroke?
Have you had Graham's parafried chicken before? Is that what this is?
Anyways, what this clown said was, how do you say it? He goes, all right, so he got, if you guys don't know, he got COVID. He is symptomatic. He's got flu symptoms. He's being quarantined for 10 days, but he is being told he'll be just fine. He doesn't need to be fully hospitalized, anything like that. So he said, I got COVID. Thank God I got both of the COVID vaccine shots Thank God I got them both, because it allows, even though I got it, I know that I'm having a much less severe case because of the V words. Sir, you are symptomatic. You have the flu. And I'm going to tell you, although you are older, out of your age group, still 90% of people that got COVID did not have to go to the hospital and had the same symptoms as you. So how can your verbiage be not complete hyperbole and based off of zero fact whatsoever? There is there is no way to prove his statement as a man that is actively symptomatic, sick with the flu-like symptoms. How can he for certain say, thank goodness I got the vaccine, it made me better? Bullshit.
Because of political science.
Yeah. Look, so there is something to be said for the fact that having COVID in conjunction with other diseases is basically a death sentence, specifically stuff like pneumonia, right? So we don't know that if he's exhibiting flu-like symptoms, if he actually does have the flu with COVID, to me, it would actually make sense if he is having a much less severe case, because the presence of the vaccine has been seen to dramatically drop the death percentage for specifically people that are in that comorbidity range for age. So that's not necessarily the snakiest thing ever. He is still a snake, but if he's
actually saying he has the flu, he doesn't have the flu.
Okay, I'm just saying, if he actually does have the flu and he has COVID and he is over the age of 65, it would not surprise me if the presence of the vaccine is actually what's keeping him from being killed.
Well, if you look at what the Delta variant's symptoms are, which are different than the non-Delta variant,
not
bullshit.
That.
How do they know this? How do they know
bullshit. Anyway,
so here's what I want to bring up on this topic, and I'll be done on this, which is we talk a lot about the supposedly preventative measure. Why isn't anybody talking about Regeneron? I'm on the NIH website right now. I'm reading about it. It looks like they're going to get full-blown approval. It has, I'm looking here to see if I can highlight it specifically, actually a higher efficacy than the original promise of the jab in a successful rate of getting people from seriously ill to home and in their own bed resting. And it looks like the average time on that is less than 72 hours.
Well, they're now using this. There's a cocktail that includes a Regeneron cocktail that actually just got passed, I think, 2 days ago, which originally, back when they were reporting it, it was like $1.5 million. But they're now saying that it's more on the affordable side in comparison, especially to remdesivir that has zero efficacy whatsoever.
My roommate actually worked on that remdesivir. She was a chemist that worked for it.
Everybody knows I'm a fan of other things, but regardless. But
part of what we'll keep in this is it sounds like there's about 11 or 8 different ones that I can see here that are all variations of a monoclonal antibody treatment. So I just want to bring that up because, like, we're talking a lot about the V, but we're never talking. Nobody's talking about, hey, look, you can get sick, and even if you get severely sick,
well,
nobody's talking about eating healthy and going for a walk.
I just want to say that's also fine. I just want to say my last bit on this. I fear that what's happening, especially a lot on the conservative side, is what would have happened on the left side if Trump had won re-election, right? Yep. You're seeing a lot of people that would not have that are against the vaccine right now, that would be absolutely for it if it was Donald Trump out there talking about how it was his administration who put it through. The point of me saying I want to see more research is all the research I'm saying is incredibly positive, and it suggests enough for me to recommend it to my father because he is over the age of 65, and a 5% chance of death is greater than a 0.1%, and I say that as it's probably the highest percent possible of side effects. A 0.1% of side effect is not bigger than that 5% chance of death. And we need to remember to remain objective in the way we are observing this and make sure we are not doing exactly what the leftists would have done if Trump was reelected, because we heard Kamala Harris and Joe Biden say they would not take a vaccine approved by Trump. I personally talk constantly on how much faith I have in the private sector to be able to do exactly what this vaccine is supposed to be done. I say constantly, if it wasn't for government regulation, we would be seeing vaccines at this level of pace for everything, not just COVID. So what we need to make sure we're doing is remaining objective and not letting our distrust of the current administration be the reason we are downplaying this vaccine and playing down its efficacy, because I believe it is as successful as they are saying. I just have personally not seen enough research to back up my beliefs.
Yeah, here's my thought process, and this is where I got into fights, and soon you would be proud of me because I decided today I no longer give a shit. Like I've said before, so I've had different phases. Like a couple months ago, I said, I'm really gonna say how I feel. No matter what, I'm just going to say how I feel. And now today I decided if people are going to be an asshole, I'm going to be an asshole back. Like not even firm. It's literally like, you know what? You wanted the asshole. If I feel like calling you stupid, I don't care anymore. I'm going to call you stupid. It's my personal page. I probably won't do that on BetheChange, but go fuck yourself. So the arguments were based on the fact of a country that now no longer gives a shit about choice. If you want to take the vaccine, take the fucking vaccine.
Take it.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Country. Yeah.
I don't care. But the fact that this is a gentleman that I'm friends with, and I'm still friends with, and I still will be friends with, because him and I always have good conversations. Now the other asshats that were part of the conversation, they could go,
yeah,
don't care. So, anyways. The argument was started out about it was the discussion on the Delta variant, but then it started talking about somebody made a comment because his wife is in the medical field of these they said so-called experts, and he got upset. And then we started talking some more, and I was like, I get it, but at the same time, like right now there's so-called experts, which are nurses, that are not taking this in droves. They were heroes last year, and this year they are losing their jobs. There's a lot of comments in the comment box. November 1st, all these different places. If they don't want to get this V word, whether it's FDA approved or not, they don't want to get it based on their own anecdotal evidence of what they see every day. And his response was, well, it's okay for private businesses to mandate this, and they can go. They're a nurse. They can go find another job. You are okay. You are okay from sitting of a place of having work right now, having your wife having work, of saying it's fine. They can just go get another job. They'll be fine. They can find a private hospital that they could work for. You don't like. To me, this is where we've completely lost our mind, and I'm going to stand up for the voiceless of the people that are literally standing by going, I don't want to take this thing. I don't think it's fully what I want. And because of all the reasons that I see, all I want to do is wait until I know more, and I'm being forced in order to keep my job. And that includes, I'm not a healthcare, I'm not frontline, whatever, but that includes me. So absolutely not. Like, I will stand up for these nurses, and the fact that you have no empathy and just say they can go get another job, that's their livelihood, that's their career. That is the same as making it mandatory in the United States. Other countries are doing bullshit. We know this, but this is the United States of America, and the fact that we are not standing up for other people. And this is somebody that is a social justice warrior. You stand up for criminals, but you can't stand up for nurses that are working day after day without a vaccine, without whatever the hell, for a year. Fuck off.
The heroes,
remember coming in like fucking bald eagles screaming from the sky.
I feel like I need to clarify really quick.
Patriot right here.
I need to clarify really quick. By the way, I'm not telling anyone that you need to go get vaccinated. In fact, my conclusion was removing all hatred from this administration. I read the research and came to the conclusion I don't need the vaccine. If it is the same for you, by all means, do it. But it is this idea that you think you're going to point a gun at my head and tell me to put a vaccine in my body? Well, you better be ready to put that bullet in my body instead, because that's how it's going to end up.
Hey, these are the same people that were like, we need to appreciate our frontline workers, our heroes. And now the same heroes that were unvaccinated the entire time they took care of COVID patients for over a year. You want to kick them out on their ass.
I know these heroes specifically from their TikTok dances, so that's all I know these heroes from.
Well, this is the other problem and I hope that nurses continue to stand up. The one nurse group that I know of specifically has a Facebook page of 900 that are not getting the V word, and they've got 3,000 signatures saying, and they have a mandate starting on November 1st, specifically a group that I talked to. So when we're looking at this, we are already, so this is what's happening. And this is where people are saying there's not enough beds. The more research that I'm doing, there are not enough beds in some of the bigger hospitals. Do you know why?
Because there's never enough beds?
No, because they're forcing them from the smaller hospitals, because the smaller hospitals never had the numbers of COVID patients that they needed back when COVID was going on. And since they cleared the hospital, they ran out of budget. They ran out of money. All these different things. Echoing. Hold on. Check.
So I just want to
Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. No, go ahead. I'm just trying to see who's echoing. Sorry about that.
I see.
No, you're good. Let me finish. So here's the problem. As I started talking to some of the doctors and some of the nurses I talked to, if they mandate it, we are already short-staffed. There's already not enough nurses, and a lot of these nurses are misplaced in all these different areas, and we're running out of beds because we're forcing them to the major hospitals. And then at the same time, these smaller hospitals just don't have enough staff, and now we're about to be mandating something that people are not willing to do, and we're going to lose 15, even if we lose 10% of the nurses in the country. What the fuck? Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
I just would like to point out that before the show, Russo said, we're not going to talk too much on the C word because Suni doesn't like talking about the C word. So, Suni, I hope we have spent a small enough amount of time on this that, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. My bad. Eric, easy. Go ahead and wrap up the
so I'll just
spent the whole motherfucking hour.
I just want to say this is, Russo, I hope you don't mind, him and I had a conversation. I think it was actually just yesterday. We kind of talked about where is the impact we can make. Are we going to take financial losses? Are we going to object to this specific topic? And we're going to stand up and stand united in saying whether or not you want to take it, that's your choice. But ultimately it is a choice. And how far are we willing to go? And we talked a lot about, because there's financial costs, there's personal costs, there's social costs, there's everything that goes along with that. And kind of the sentiment, I think, coming out of that conversation was we've had enough. The line in the sand is now clear. You want something I am never willing to give you. And unfortunately, I think what we need is, we have a pretty engaged audience tonight, but as everybody is looking at this in the totality of the picture, we need to be clear and delineate where the line is, because they keep just pushing that goalpost.
Hell yeah.
And I think it's time, and I applaud Anthony tonight for letting loose a little bit, but it's time that we all start to let a little bit more loose. And if there's costs to that, that's fine. We'll figure it out. But it's time to start counterpunching, because we're going to get punch drunk and not know how to fight back anymore.
Facts. Now everybody knows where I'm coming from and why.
Agreed.
I don't ever back down. Like, yo, you want to?
Yeah.
You sure you want to go down this road with me? Like Jay, Jay wants to talk to me about Simone Biles, and I'm telling you, I'm having no mercy, guy. I'm going to destroy you on this topic.
I have to get this out of my head really quick for your social media. Hashtag lead in the head, as in lead in the head before a shot in the arm. All right. Let's do it. Lead in the head. Make these people understand what a COVID vaccine mandate actually is.
Look
If
at
you're
Russo's
going
brain.
to,
He's like,
well,
we enjoyed having Kevin on the show.
A little there, but
all right.
Maybe not all the way over here.
Sorry, I shouldn't be giving ideas out here. No, but I agree with you all the way.
Fun fact, as we are you wait, go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so are we going to talk about Gavin Newsom and COVID? Because I feel
this is real quick. I want to mention it, and it's not about COVID. This is a testing of the system. They are reintroducing this situation so that they can see what they are going to get. Will people comply? And they are going to. They're forced to right now for voting in California. Is it going to work again? And will people get away with it? And that's what they're testing in California, because right now Gavin Newsom just yesterday they announced mail-in ballots for
everyone.
Bullshit.
You get a mail-in ballot. You get a mail-in ballot. You get a mail-in ballot. Hella Oprah style. Come on, give me a
It's
break.
bullshit. Like this is what they do.
Can I add on that to you for you guys? Yeah. Do you guys know what ballot harvesting is?
Come on, man.
Ballot harvesting is where ballot harvesting is when you send people of your own party out to collect the ballots. It's wonderful.
Come on, man.
Oh, hey, I'm here to pick up your ballot. I haven't filled it out. Here, why don't you fill it out really quick? Gavin Newsom's running for you.
I'd be happy to do all of it for you. And can I just hold your hand while you sign it? That would be okay. In fact, you know what? If you can't do that, no big deal. We got it.
It's a farce. This is
amazing timing. Can't make better timing for Gavin Newsolini. So what a piece of shit.
Because Larry Elder was the one who was. If Gavin Newsom gets recalled, Larry Elder is the governor of California,
100%.
And that is. So I need to tell you guys, right? So I'm a very calm, collected, very down-to-earth, chillaxed person, right? You know, I meet celebrities. I'm like, yo, what's up? My name's Kevin, right?
Bullshit.
Lies. I
met Larry Elder. And mind you, before I met Larry Elder, like I was going in my head, I'm like, I don't want to make an ass of myself. It's Larry fucking Elder. I listened to 3 hours of Larry Elder in the morning, every morning for like my entire life. Because
the most excited I've ever heard a white supremacist to meet a black man. I've never heard of somebody.
So I was getting it ready in my head. I was gonna be like, my name is Kevin LaRusso. I'm the current, I was gonna give him the rundown and everything. I walked up and go, Larry Elder, like, my dad loves you. I love you. Can I have a picture? I was like, I've never fangirled in my fucking life for anyone but Larry Elder. I was like, he's an amazing man, and for him to be governor of California, that is the single best thing that could possibly, potentially ever happen to that state, and they are terrified of it. And
so Russo understands, because he fangirled over Trump.
Don Jr. Yeah, I did.
I have a shirt for it somewhere. Hosted an event for him last year. Got to meet him and talk to him. Good guy.
The Liberty Revolt crew fangirled a little bit over Joe Jorgensen. I gotta admit, no, you weren't there. You weren't there.
Dylan definitely fangirled over Joe Jorgensen. I met her in person, and I was like, oh yeah, so that's why we lost. Everything suddenly makes sense. I went to the Libertarian Convention here in Colorado. Joe Jorgensen. Here's what the Libertarian president of the Libertarian presidential nominee was pushing the buttons on her own slideshow on the computer. That is I'm sorry, you were the presidential nominee. You don't have someone that's willing to sit at the computer and go click, click.
Looks like
I was going to say something, but I'm going to shut up.
I just had to say one thing. Just with the end of it, and then what are we going to talk? We want to talk Gwen Berry next, but ultimately, with New York shutting down again, and to those that aren't vaccinated, it's officially become segregation in a racial way. Why? The CDC reported today, according to Dr. Drew, that only 28.4% of the Black community have received the COVID vaccine, with states like California and New York mandating vaccine passports to enter restaurants and businesses. The Black community would be most affected by this modern-day segregation.
Yo, right. Dr. Drew is a real one for sure.
That's awesome.
It's Jim Crow. I don't know why people just won't say it, bro. It's Jim Crow. They have implemented it again.
It's Jim Crow 2.0.
It's not Jim Crow 2.0.
It's Jim Crow 19.0,
bro. Come on now.
19.0. Jim Crow 19.0.
17.76, y'all. No, it's Jim Crow 2.0. Let's go.
It's 1619 Jim Crow 2.0.
All right. Let's go to let's go to Gwen Berry failing miserably, which sucks to suck, right?
I want to pronounce her name right. I still have that video. Can we not talk about Gwen Berry? Can we talk about someone absolutely fucking out of this world? No one is happier for her success than your
Share your screen. Share it.
Let me see if I want to make sure I'm going to share it correctly so that it shares audio.
But I don't know.
You had one job.
Can I?
Only.
All right, let's see. Tell me if it has audio. Nope.
I don't even see anything.
I don't even see it. Nothing's popping up.
Okay, let me.
There's a little button there, Captain Fangirl, Larry Elder Fan Club.
I know what I did wrong. Okay, I'm figuring it out. What am I doing? There we go. Nope. Nope.
I don't know. I do have to say that. I just have to reiterate. Dr. Drew is a freaking hero right now.
We're just gonna do this really quick.
Dr. Drew. Oh yeah, yo, she's the GOAT.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
she's the fucking GOAT. Fuck Simone Biles.
Wait, can you hear it though?
Dude, talk about
No, you forgot to hit the little share audio button.
Didn't share the audio.
Okay, just do it again.
Didn't come up.
No, you're good. Yeah, there's a little button on the bottom that says share audio. Jeez, I thought you youngsters are supposed to be tech savvy. Jesus. Sorry for using the
I'm
Lord's name in
28.
vain. I know you have a Christian audience.
I am just past this quote unquote tech savvy. All right, let's see.
So Gwen Berry, while we're going to show this clip of Tamira Mariana Stock Bensa, great name, by the way. Gwen Berry, by the way, apparently she raised her fist up twice going in the stadium because she probably knew she wasn't going to have a chance to do it on the medal stand. That's a fact.
Yo. What the fuck is this? Yo, I'm sorry. She looks like an animal. I'm just gonna call it. Yo, them braids are a hit, bro.
I can't say that.
That black lipstick you got, you look like it's some sort of like African tribal shit you got going on. Just stop it.
To be very clear, this is a black woman making these comments, not any of the other people you see.
Not me. Racist.
Nope.
Look at Russo.
Nope.
That's why I did it. I said, because that's what she looks like.
Okay.
You look like you came straight from the sticks.
Who are you, Russo, to determine how to correctly pronounce Swahili? I'm sorry.
God, the screen.
Okay. Let's show a true American hero.
Dude, I don't know. I'm on Firefox, and it's like being a pain in the ass,
Holy
I promise.
God. Send me the link, you sandbagging. Jesus.
Don't judge me, okay? I'm not using Chrome like you cool cats, all right? There you go.
Did you find it? No, you didn't.
And no, to answer the person's earlier question, I'm not drunk, but I'm well on my way.
Did you guys understand me?
I'm going to go ahead and find it on my Instagram because relying on you has become... What happened to Eric? Where'd Eric go?
I literally can't hear anything. What is going on? What did I do to my life here?
Oh, here we go. All right, I got it right here. I got this.
Man.
You had one job.
Easy laugh. I went down the... He can't hear, so he has to come back and refresh.
Okay. All right, let's show the goat with the audio. Here we go. Hold on.
You don't have audio either. Sir.
No, I know. It's because I haven't hit play yet. Let me bring Kevin's ass back up. Where did Easy go? All right, hold on. Let me go back to this. Where did it go? There it is. All right.
My page muted me for some reason. Not like you, but like Mozilla said. Has said yes every time you have been like, "Can I achieve this?" It has said yes, and the people around you said yes. And you have fought and you have worked every ounce of what you have to be from with it. Like you have worked to reach whatever potential you have within you to achieve this. And then you are on the greatest stage ever, draped around you, this symbol to so many people around the world of freedom, of liberty, of being who you are. And you're just, I don't know what that kind of joy feels like. I wish one day to experience it. And it is just so amazing to see someone like that right now in this country. And it just makes me feel good. Like that is just, makes me feel amazing.
Just think if she didn't live in Chicago too, she'd even be more happy to be living in the United States of America or, Chicago 5 years ago, whatever. But so apparently, yeah,
sorry.
Chris brings up a really good point. So I'm assuming how much she loves America. This is alleged, I could be wrong, but I don't think she might have, I doubt that she was a Joey Basement's voter. So if she wasn't, and again, this is completely a stretch, I don't really know, but based on the way that she went ham on this whole thing, I'm going to go out on a limb. So I have a question. Is she black?
What do you mean, is she black? She's an immigrant, of course. She's, she came from, I think it's Ghana.
That just makes the story even more incredible.
Even better, because somebody came to America, assimilated to our traditions and culture, and they love the country enough to say, this is an amazing country, and I'm so proud to represent.
So I've got a question, right? So what is the difference between Ghana and Somalia? In that an immigrant from one would come to our country and end up being a gold medal winning Olympian, and an immigrant from the other would come to our country, become the first Muslim American congresswoman, and continue to just tell us how disgusting and horrible America is. I'm just.
You want to know? Because Somalia is just shithole country.
That is an actual fact. That is not in any way to disgrace Somalia. People actually shit on the streets and in the beaches of Somalia.
They use this hand and they wipe, and you are given a briefing anytime you go to these countries that you do not shake their hand because they use their hand to wipe their ass.
That's why you shake with your right hand. You see, the thing is people are going to hear that and say, that's racist. That would never happen. It's like, no, that happened in Europe up until about 1700. So you want to know when toilet paper was invented is when it kind of stopped in Europe. So the fact that if it still happens there, that just give them toilet paper. Charmin needs to sponsor like the African Football League that Barack Obama is sponsoring.
So what you're saying is we could just test the poop on the streets in Somalia to see if the Delta variant is in Somalia.
Do it. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. You're muted, Easy.
Guy.
Easy.
Yep.
He smoked too much.
The other component to it is just that China owns the whole eastern seaboard of Africa. So they have vested interests, and Ghana does not fall, as far as I understand, currently under their monetary control. So
in fairness,
paradox.
Somalia falls under no one's monetary control.
Well, their resources are absolutely being robbed right now by China. So
it's somebody.
So
I've been told that Exxon and all these American companies are evil and greedy. Yet I do not see them exploiting Somalia.
No.
I do know that our military is exploiting Somalia. So there's that. Hey, just food for thought, everyone.
All right, so let's finish this up talk like the same way as last week, but let's not get our audio cut off, and let's laugh at the hypocrisy in AOC. So go ahead and show this.
Oh fuck! Not again.
This crazy lady.
She ain't got no goddamn rhythm.
She looks like me out there.
Wait, is this before or after the?
They are. You are.
Photo. So we can keep the pressure up so other colleagues can come out here. Yeah?
Camera sheeted to leave.
Wait a second. There's going to be a photo op. There's going to be a photo op.
Boop, there it is.
Oh, there we go.
Hey guys,
You hypocritical son of a bitch.
Go back to her like. No rhythm.
I love how it's as soon as she's leaving the crowd to put on a mask. I was safe in my herd. Oh, now the camera's on me.
1, 2, 3. Why do you even say?
Wait, what did they say? What did they say? What did realistically?
Something about housing being equal. Housing is everybody's right, or whatever. I don't know.
What happened? What happened to saying things that made you smile? You know, like cheese or free money.
Oh, this idiot took the damn mask down.
Is really for Kevin. Come on.
Oh my god.
No, but so I just gotta say, if you look like me when you're dancing, this is not good. This is not a good sign, people. That means that you don't need to be dancing.
Yeah. Can you run it back?
Yeah. How far do you want me to go back? Where to the dancing part?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. This is disgraceful.
She looks at me on the dance floor when I realize I can't dance, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep pretending for a couple more moves here.
She's I'm like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, that black girl is a lame too.
How did she ever make tips?
What the fuck is she doing?
Suni, don't you know that apparently all people of African descent are inbred with, bred within them, the ability to sense the rhythm?
False.
I have been told this for years, that apparently it is us white folk that don't know what a rhythm is.
Listen.
So,
hey, listen, white men can't jump, and I know because there's a movie.
Say that to Alex motherfucking Caruso. Let's go.
Easy. How tall are you? I realized I was looking at your pictures. You look taller than I think. How tall are you?
So listen,
is your wife a midget? Is that what this is?
Break the 6 foot barrier, but I am definitely
his wife's a midget.
5'11" solid. So
his wife's a midget.
My wife, to be fair, is she's 5'2", 5'3".
That's not that short. I mean, it's just short. That's ridiculous.
My mom was like 5'3", so I can't say much.
But
my mom's 5'3".
I'm the runt of my family. Like I've got a brother who's 6'4", my dad's 6'2.5", maybe 6'3" on a different day. Depends kind of. So I'm the runt.
My sister is 6'1", I'm 6'1", so it's kind of embarrassing for me. I do laugh at her though and I hope Courtney, I hope you listen to this later because I'm going to say this live on air. My sister's 6'1". Good luck finding a man, and she's 35 and still has it. Let's go.
Danger zone.
I'm gonna get killed next time I go home, Courtney. It's all out of luck. Please don't murder me.
Danger
good
zone.
Bottle of
35,
good bottle of
6'1".
whiskey or something.
Jackie's the same height as Cash, 5 feet tall.
I will say,
Cash is short.
This is my sister's quote because, she goes, "Look, Kev, my grandpa unfortunately would not have come to her. Just to show you how Americans evolved, my grandpa probably wouldn't have gone to her marriage if she had married a black man. But she did tell me when she goes, look, dude, I can't find anyone else that loves girls that are 6'1" and former athletes.
Am I confused about where that was going? Anybody else?
No, so my sister's 6'1", right?
Okay.
Super tall. And so my grandpa, my mom always had to tell her, look, because it's a different time, right? So my grandpa, he was just not about, unfortunately, my grandpa was a very racist man. He was Italian. He came over from Sicily. Just to tell you, people come up racist. She had to tell him one time, look, grandpa, I know you don't want to come to our marriage, but I like black dudes. And
so did he come?
No, he died, and she's not married.
All right,
my mom.
That's a real bummer of a story right there. I dated a girl that actually really liked dating black guys, and
I feel like I was a little too drunk to get the story straight.
It's all good.
Yes,
he dated you after dating a black guy.
Shut up. Yes, I did. But the interesting thing,
soon he's like that never happens.
But
it's true.
It's interesting though. And this is where I say there is still racist people in this country. And I remember she always was like, I could never marry a black guy because my grandfather would not allow it to happen. And that's a little.
You guys realize that black people don't want their children bringing white kids home either.
Oh no, I'm
my mother ever listen. When my mother found out that my husband's African, she's like, absolutely not. Is his mother white or black? I'm like, his mom's white.
Is that
not
more
happening
on the female end, or is that or is that just across the board?
But let me ask you this, Suni. Let me ask you this, Suni. Are your grandkids going to be able to say the same thing? And that's what really matters.
What? Say what?
That grandma wouldn't like me marrying a white man.
No, I think
I would prefer if they did.
No, but I'm just saying, we're getting to a point in our country, and there's people that there are evolutionary biologists that actually laugh at our current division because they're like, you guys realize in 100 years, America is going to be majority mixed race anyway. Yeah. So none of this matters to begin with. You guys are arguing over what's going to be seen as antiquated in 100 years. So it's but it is important to point out how recent that generation was and how big of a leap we've actually made.
How much progress we've actually made.
You guys want to hear something though?
Yeah.
My mom. So my mom calls me, last night, and usually when my mom calls, this is how I'm looking at the screen. You done? Okay, we're gonna keep going. So she's like, this Mexican girl, she's messing with your sister, and I was like, what happened? She's like, oh, she threatened her. I'm gonna kill you. I said, so take the screenshot and take it to the police and get a restraining order. If she violates it again, she's going to jail. She's like, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm calling animal control because this bitch is an animal. And you know what else I'm calling? I'm calling ICE because your ass is going back to Mexico, wherever you came from. I was like, what are you doing right now? My husband was like, yo, your mom's so racist. My family is the most racist black people on the planet, dude. She said, I'm calling ICE and this girl is an American citizen.
Suni, I was taking sensitivity training, and I was told that black people could not be racist because they are technically the oppressed. And if they're the oppressed, I was told that technically there could be no racism. They could have judgment towards others, but racism, an old white woman told me on a video that's impossible.
Right. No.
I got some straight Mexican friends, and they have the same sentiment towards the opposite community. It's like I think I said this one time, and I don't think people caught what I was saying, which is that racial tension is palpable between the Latino and the black community.
No,
don't even recognize.
You need to look up the statistics.
Fuck you attitude.
If you look at LA is the perfect example. If you look at the crime statistics in LA in the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, literally all of the gang violence was between various Mexican gangs and various black gangs, and that's what it was. And what's really funny is you hear people talk about like South Central, or Compton. Well, after like the 2000s, Compton became majority Latino. Still, you were having the same kind of racial tensions. It's like we don't talk about this though because everyone's a little bit bought into the narrative.
So can I give you my perspective on it though, which is
my mom's calling ice on all you Mexicans. All right,
you are white, Eric. You are not allowed to give your opinion.
So there's so where it actually for me, I actually can draw a correlation is that it's connected to kind of an underbelly world. So where that tension lies, at least from the perspective that I have seen, is amongst criminals, not standard citizens of the states, right? So I can't surmise that it is the majority, but it seems to be that they are competing for similar portions of business, and that may be what is actually driving the divide. That's what I have seen.
Could be. I mean, it's misinformation. It's like what you said. Take what you just said and then add misinformation to it. That is 100% driving. I mean, you look at look at the numbers. When all the Stop Asian Hate came out and everybody's blaming white people, there's no way to blame you shouldn't blame anybody. You should blame bad people. You shouldn't blame a specific race. But if we're going to talk race, the statistics lean heavily on the black population into Asians, like the percentage of crimes in between white people on white people, or between a violent crime. Every race has the highest number of violent crime, except for Asians. Asians, the highest level of violent crime on Asians is actually the black community. So for some odd reason, during the Stop Asian Hate, all white heterosexual males were to blame for Asian hate. And it's like, this is the misinformation that Easy is kind of talking about that just drives a fucking separation into the country. It's just it's ignorance of what's truly going on. Sorry.
Hey, look, black people are racist. Okay. We are the most racist people. And I'm talking about black people in America. We are the most racist, homophobic demographic. Just being honest.
No one wants to talk about it in the Democratic Party at all.
Racist and homophobic. If you go to the hood and you throw a tranny or somebody else in the middle of the hood, guarantee they're not coming out untouched.
You guys, I need to introduce you guys to my best friend Kobe. He is half black, half white. He's from Oklahoma.
Bryant?
Yeah.
No, Peters. Thankfully,
I was going to say that. I mean,
Kobe's my hero. Kobe Bryant's my hero. Kobe Peters is my best friend. So he's a half black, half white from Oklahoma. This man is one of the best people I know, and he can. First and foremost, he's one of the best people around. But you want to know what's very funny is that he actually has the documentation. His family is from Oklahoma. The black side of his family, Suni, do you want to know how the black side of his family got to Oklahoma? I feel like you might have some kind of idea over there.
How?
They were the slaves of a Native American tribe on the Trail of Tears. They were slaves.
Wow.
Yeah.
But not for white people.
No, for the Native Americans. I forget which tribe it was exactly.
Look, my great great grandfather was a slave owner. I have a picture of him in all white with a whip.
The 1619 Project, I don't think on its first page it says the first slave owner in America was Anthony Johnson, a black man.
It's a black man. Thank you. Nobody talks about that.
Wonder why? It's almost like everyone is guilty of the crime of racism throughout human history up until about 1864.
Well, that's my favorite reference that I make, and like, there's not a single person that hasn't been like, shit. The people that, like, when they talked about, I think it was even Kamala Harris is the perfect example, that she is mixed race from a from a white slave owner and a black slave. That's how that lineage started. So how does she, and many people are part of that lineage, how does she get to decide if she is on the side of the oppressor or the oppressed? Because technically her great granddaddy was a slave owner, so go fuck yourself. Or her great grandma was a slave. You literally get to choose whatever side fits your narrative better. But fact is, this, and like, if you were to talk about reparations, a lot of these you're going to see many of these stories. What are you going to do? Technically, your great grandfather should be paying for the reparations. So this is why none of this shit makes any fucking sense.
And you never hear about what the white race is, what the white slavery is. You hear a lot about slavery, but serfdom is often overlooked. Serfdom is the exact same thing. The only difference being that in slavery there is no illusion of being paid. Serfdom, you're quote unquote paid. You're paid. You have to work off a debt that the owner gets to decide how much you're paid and when it's paid off. That's slavery.
Remind me why we have such a strong Irish population here again. What's
the
that
Scottish? About? The Scottish, the Irish, the Germans. They came over. They were immediately our slave class. Yeah. And so there is a significant amount of misinformation. Thomas Sowell wrote a great book. It's called Black Rednecks and White Liberals.
Black Rednecks, facts. Good book.
What's it called? Black Rednecks and what?
White Liberals. It is a wonderful book that describes what a lot of people attribute to Black culture today, especially when it comes to like vernacular and like how people talk. That is something that can be directly traced back through white people, like through white Scottish, white Irish. That exactly what you see from what you claim is, because we all know they're talking about poor communities here. The thing is no matter what race you're looking at, all the poor communities have similar mannerisms because that is a symbol of being poor. And, Black liberals, Black rednecks and white liberals, please read it. It goes over how, this isn't a racial thing. This is an socioeconomic cultural thing. Exactly. And so
the racial thing is just a dialogue, man. That's how they want to dice it up. But
he actually goes through it. He goes through it and he talks about how basically what we would think of as Ebonics is almost indecipherable from the same way that the Scottish and the Irish serfs spoke in America as well. It is not a sign of being Black. It is a sign of being Mexican, what have you. It is a sign of being among the poor class, which is why you hear a lot of poor white people talking similar ways, right? It's because it's not a race thing. But of course everyone thinks it is. Anyways, sorry.
Do you speak Ebonics?
What's up, motherfucker?
That was like white people Ebonics. I'm just saying. I don't know what that was.
I mean, I could understand Ebonics.
You can understand Ebonics. I'm shocked. Well, you need to teach Casey because Casey and Nikki were so lost when I asked.
You got to remember, I went to school in the burbs in St. Louis where we had deseg. So I mean, we had desegregation programs. So all the people I played football with, or whatever. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Do you want a dub or a dime bag? Which one you going for?
Give me that dub, yo.
Well, I don't partake much of the marijuana, but if I were, I would.
Give me $40. I'll give you that dime bag. For
I would do the dime bag because wait, you said dub or dime bag, not a dab or a dime bag. Well, no, also I also want to be clear. My version of Ebonics is 20 years old, so these like dime bag was around.
You got this one,
dude. But this isn't Ebonics. This is high schooler buying weed lingo. All right, I smoked this shit at my super white suburban high school. Okay, don't be claiming this. Sorry.
So you don't. So you're cheap. You want to get
elbow?
Less than a gram.
Right. Anything less than an eighth, and I'm walking out of there.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
I need an elbow.
Big boy pockets.
I need an elbow.
How much you paying? We're not going to talk about this on here.
Nikki goes, I know a dime bag.
Of course you do, Nikki.
This is Nikki right now going, Anthony. Anthony.
Hold on.
I know a dime bag.
How much is the zip costing you? How much is the zip costing you?
Oh, no, I'll let Russo talk about it.
I have no idea. This is not shit that I'd ever heard.
Here, you can get a zip for about 210, 220.
See, that's not Ebonics. That's new lingo.
That's Ebonics.
No, that's right. No, Suni, you do not get to claim. You don't.
Yeah,
what?
How racist are you, Suni? Not everything in the Ebonics verbiage has to do with drugs.
Not all criminal lingo is black, Suni. Thank you very much.
I'll teach you.
Us white people participate in crime just as much as black people. I do not like you taking words away from me.
How dare you appropriate his culture?
I have to be
appropriating
clear,
criminal culture over here. Jesus Christ.
Suni blanks. I Googled zip and Ebonics and it doesn't come up. So
that's because Urban Dictionary is wrote by white guys.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, it's slang. That's right. Somebody said it's slang. It's not Ebonics.
I was paying for a quad over
My
there.
nigga, listen. Where I'm from.
That's not fair. We can't say that. What the fuck?
You walk down the street in your slippers with some red juice in your cup, and you say, "What's up?" That's Ebonics where I'm from.
Yeah.
And then they throw up, "Yo, we crippin' up in here," and you die. So.
Okay, don't say that again. This guy on the page when it's like looking up what Ebonics is, this guy's explanation. Ebonics is a fast way to show those around you that you're an idiot. I kind of like it when people use it. It lets me know up front that I don't need to actually use my vocabulary when dealing with them. So good.
Red. Okay.
Casey with
here's
Casey
the last
purple
one.
drink.
Do you guys drink
Purple
Kool-Aid?
drink.
I did when I was growing up.
Blue.
Okay. Oh, you speak Ebonics. You already know what it is. I wish I could give you a job right now. You already knew what I was saying before I said it.
Blue, yeah.
Blue, okay.
What's your favorite flavor of Gatorade, Anthony?
My favorite flavor of Gatorade?
Was it fruit punch? Was it blue raspberry?
No, you gotta get the
strawberry kiwi.
You gotta get the perps.
I like orange.
Grape.
I like orange.
Come on, now, you gotta get them perps.
Who drinks orange anything? What?
No,
Because
I don't know.
I knew that I
White
could have the
guys.
whole bottle. Nobody wanted to borrow my orange. That was Poe.
Look how white this guy is. Can you believe it? Jeez.
Sugar, water, and purple.
Purple.
Look, half the bag. All right.
Dude,
you have to have some sugar at the bottom.
Like, legitimately, if you're able to mix the entire thing into your water, that means you didn't add enough mixture. You need to double it up. There needs to be clumps floating around.
You don't say the fruit. You say red, blue, purple, yellow.
Right.
Those are your
drink.
flavors. My favorite was red.
Blue, man.
I'm all about that purple drink.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, Eric. I'm very sure you're all about that purple drink.
Russo's lost.
No, I'm watching a white
Russo's
dude.
from Texas.
No, I'm watching a white dude.
From going into the depths of this category.
No, I'm trying to find an old video because if you recall, back in the 90s or early 2000s, they were actually going to start teaching Ebonics in California schools. They did for a period of time, whatever. Yeah. So I found a white guy singing how to teach Ebonics to a white dude, and he was like rapping this song that's brutal. But I'm trying to find because I remember.
And you remember that scene from Airplane? It's like, excuse me, does anyone in here speak Ebonics? And it's like that old frail white lady. Oh yeah, I actually teach a class at the university. Excuse me, this motherfucker don't really jive with your gib over there. So if you want to get rid of it, like it's like.
Oh shoot, man!
Listen,
Airplane.
Y'all making me feel like I need to fill up a double cup.
Airplane. If you guys haven't seen Airplane, by the way, I know there's some young people out there. It is one of the greatest comedies ever written in human history.
Where's your Dixie cup? Double cup.
Double cup.
All I got is an empty glass right here. I've been waiting.
Styrofoam.
I've been waiting for a break so I can go grab more beer.
Damn, I don't think I've ever done that out of a styrofoam.
Ew, gross. What?
Then you don't know what
styrofoam at the
a
parties.
double cup really is. Then
No, excuse me, Eric. I am well aware of what double cups are.
Ooh, he told you.
All right, you ready?
Little Pro meth with the cozy.
We can't hear it.
Oh, it's a quiet clip. Hold on.
Oh yes.
Can I get you something?
Some mofo butter laying into the bone, jacking me up. Hype me.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Cuddy say can't hang.
Oh, stewardess, I speak jive.
Oh, good.
He said that he's in great pain and he wants to know if you can help him.
All right. Would you tell him to just relax and I'll be back as soon as I can with some medicine?
Just hang loose, blood. She's gonna catch up on the rebound on the med side.
What is it? Mama ain't raised no dummies. I just a rap.
Cut me some slack, Jack.
Say Cuddy can't
Chomp don't want to help. Chomp don't get the help.
Oh shit! Thanks, man.
Just so you understand how great this movie is, at that current moment, the plane is being flown by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and a blow-up doll. So,
do you remember when we could actually be funny in this country?
I mean, it's been a couple of years, but yeah, I mean, there was a time.
They'll get you on the rebound, blood. Let's go.
Listen, she was speaking good jive. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Excuse me, ma'am. I speak jive myself. Okay?
I speak jive, okay?
Bunch of jive turkeys up on this plane. Do you remember like Beyonce Knowles from Austin Power Gold member? Oh, y'all a bunch of jive turkeys. It's like, okay, Beyonce, we get it.
Oh my god! All right, I'm good to wrap
the
this
page
show
isn't
up.
up tomorrow. You know why?
Yeah, it's been. I feel like we were ready like 30 minutes ago, and then shit just kept going.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, we had a good little fun little chat to wrap it up, and I was gonna do because I was tired this week. Honestly, like seeing all the bullshit going on with, where's the line gonna end, and I was like, I can't do Truth Will Set You Free. I had a shitty weekend with flights and different stuff like that, but tonight was medicine. Tonight was funny. I had a great time. I think you guys all did a great show. Kevin had one really bad story that made zero sense to anybody watching, which is completely fine.
I
circle back to the point.
It made sense. I promise.
I feel like Kevin told a story about a tall sister that banged a black guy, and then an uncle died. I don't know what happened, but it was super awkward.
I said my sister had to tell my grandpa that she was 6'1", and
your grandpa didn't know your sister was 6'1"? Was he?
No, he did. But no, he was racist. He wasn't blind, and so she said, "Well, Grandpa, I'm 6'1". I'm not likely to find a man that isn't black," and so he had a problem with that. What's really funny is she actually has. She's gonna hit me for saying this. She's gone on dates with people like Drew Holiday and Evan Turner and stuff like that. So
I don't know.
Name drop.
They play basketball. I don't know if they went on dates, but you know what? I just asked her, why the hell didn't you do with what all the other women did, which is conveniently forget your birth control that day? Jesus Christ.
Oh, Suni, you had to go on Facebook about this topic. Oh, snap the trigger button.
Hey, I've been giving dating advice all week. Do you hear me?
Suni's been on it with the pro tips.
Stuni, you did a whole thing about the guys with the if they've got multiple babies, how they're gonna calm down, right? Didn't you do a post like that? Like, how are they all of a sudden gonna run? So the girls that have a bunch of kids from different baby daddies, you said like run or something like that?
I did, yes.
Okay, so funny story. Kelly and I were talking about a friend she went to high school with, that white chick from the country, only fucked with black dudes. Like she had 2 kids in high school, all different babies. What does that say? What happened? What is it?
Oh, you want me to pull it up? I'll pull it up so you guys can
okay,
see.
Yeah, pull it up. Yeah. So hold on, I'll put it on the screen. Keep it up there. Easy. Keep it up there. Here it is. So yeah, as soon as dating advice, if she has hella kids and multiple baby daddies run, she has made the same mistake multiple times, and she is headed. She's hard headed as well. Yeah, exactly. So what's funny?
Can I just share really quickly?
Yeah. The daily dating tips, real as fuck. If she got more than one baby daddy, she looking for checks, not commitment. Better keep them shoelaced just in case. Never know when you're going to need to be faster than Usain Bolt to avoid an 18-year-old lease on a one-night rental. That's funny. So what's funny though, Stoonie, is this is literally a conversation I just had because this chick from her high school is getting married to another black dude right now, and this is the first time she's been married, and they're so happy in their pictures, and I'm like, what conversation did they have to have where he's like, are you sure I'm the one? Oh no, you the last black dick for me. I swear to God, you the most perfect black dick I ever had. I'm staying with you. Like, in what mind does this guy not really think that she is all of a sudden going to be like, look at Daquan over there looking fine. Like, what the fuck? Come on, man.
Again, Chris Rock has some really great advice.
Hey,
no matter what they tell you,
if her excuse is, if you ask her, hey, what happened? And she says, I was young. I said, sprint, big fella. Out of there.
And she was young, and she's got these mistakes for a while.
Oh man.
And the crazy part is this chick that she went to high school. She's a thick white chick, and I know, shocker.
What's thick?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, she's thick. She's probably about 50 pounds overweight. Maybe 70 pounds. I mean, she's not like fat. She's not healthy. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. So I got you.
But she's, whatever. But the guy's thin, and I'm like, that's a Trump supporter right there. Because the black dude, he's got the belt buckle, big gap in his teeth, looking like Michael Strahan, and a cowboy hat and stuff. I was like, he's country. I like that.
He's been whitewashed. It's all right.
Oh, he might just be from the country. There are some black folk that can ride a horse or three, especially since
Little Moss X, let's go.
Yeah. Anyways. So last funny black dick story. So
you have multiples?
So one of the guys that choose
the insinuation being he has ones that aren't funny.
So I could tell a whole story about Michael Irvin when I accidentally saw him naked. That thing is scary. But regardless. Okay, since it's the end of the show, I don't care. I'll tell the Michael Irvin one too. I was at Lifetime Fitness or Planet whatever, something in North Dallas and Frisco, and there's Michael Irvin as I'm walking in the locker room. And if you've ever been to a Planet or whatever, not the Planet Fitness, but the nice one. So there's the glass windows and then the locker or the mirrors and then the lockers. And I'm walking and I see Michael Irvin naked, kind of like cleaning his junk, and I'm like, oh, look away, that's awkward. So I look, and of course it's mirror, which caused me to look back the other way, and I'm going back and forth. And this thing was able to take a left turn and a right turn and back left again when I'm like, what is it doing? How is that possible? That thing was.
Anthony was mesmerized by the serpent.
He was beyond mesmerized.
So
must know its trick.
Suni, go ahead.
Size matters.
So the other story is there's a guy that shoes horses for Kelly, who's hilarious. And he played, I don't know if he knew a guy that played football or if he played football with the guy growing up. They were in small town Texas, and they had like several black guys on the team. They were really good. Oh, it's Cedar Hill. So it was South Texas or South Dallas area. Anyways, this guy on the team, they called him Pringles because his resting dick was big enough. How are we talking about this right now? But his resting dick was so big that he could dip it in the Pringles thing and it would hit the bottom of the Pringles thing.
We talking a short stack or the big
one? The big one.
So he's a shower, not a grower.
We had that conversation. Like he couldn't actually get any bigger, could he? Like once he got hard, it just had to kind of like straighten out.
I just imagine this guy comes through the door. It's like, honey, I'm home, and she's sitting there in lingerie, and the next thing you know, he just faints. Like
too much blood loss, too fast.
He turns into one of those fainting goats when he gets excited. It's like, oh yeah.
He wakes up after and it's all a blur.
Guys, if you want some like solid dating advice, please make sure you follow my content. All right, because every day I'm going to be coming out with some funny stuff. Swear.
So the irony there is that Suni is giving dating advice, yet she has only truly dated one man.
Yeah, because my man is the shit. Shoot. Listen. I am the epitome of what men want. They don't want ran through coochies. and I ain't got no ran through coochie. I got a mile on it. Literally one.
Here you
How
got
many
Sudi.
bodies the rest of these women out
So
here
how
got?
do you know size matters then?
Sudi, real quick,
Because
right?
I have a badge. Shit.
Sudi, real quick.
Qualification is known.
A key that opens all locks is a master key. A lock that is opened by all keys is a broken lock.
Facts.
Do you know how you have a master key in New York? You get
How?
the vaccine. The key to New York is what it's called.
Let's just go ahead and remove herself.
Dude, I feel like
very
you go in
bad
and use your
joke.
STD or something. Anyways,
can I do it to end my portion of the show? I'm gonna give a shot at Jay. I know that he's probably not listening. Liberal Jay.
I can't wait to have you out of here. Anyways,
I know because he gave, and I wanted to bore Suni again because he actually gave a vaccine thing because he keeps talking about it being a fucking patriotic duty, and then he shared an article of some idiot that's in journalism saying that getting the vaccine is as American. It's as American as apple pie because they were sharing a reference of the fact that George Washington gave it to the smallpox, forced it on the troops in 1776. I'm like, you're comparing science in 1776 and calling it patriotic. I'm going to tell you what's patriotic. Not well. I don't want to say that because we'll get banned. But I'm going to tell you that getting a vaccine is not patriotic. That's it. That's the end of my show. I'm out.
Hey.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Anthony.
Let's see. Let's have Easy
if you
wrap
have
up.
miles on your cooter, listen, don't feel bad. It's all right. You can be reformed. I promise you can. Just get a yoni pearl, work out and tighten those muscles up again. Advice from Suni.
Kegels.
That means it's stamped certified true, so you don't even got to fact check it. It's done.
Oh my god. Somebody said I was over it when they
go
said
follow
Jesus.
Suni's page if you aren't right now because the dating advice has been off the hook. It's so good. You got to get in on that.
Oh man.
No, it's been a good show tonight. Thanks guys. Had a good time.
This has been one of my most favorite shows. This has been fantastic.
Listen, and I just want to hark on something we talked about earlier that's a little bit serious. We have to start drawing some lines in the sand. So, tonight we've talked about a lot of things, but the most important part is that we have very open dialogue. So I'll just encourage everybody to look at this time and say, it's not time to be silent anymore. It's time to get loud and be okay with where you're at. Go be a patriot. Make your voice heard.
True story. It's time for us to have our own Pride Festival, and this one is about drawing a line in the fucking sand. Kevin, are you taking a hit of a bomb right before your
fucking paint, bro? Oh, that's that good weed, He choked in his nose.
Man, that's what happens when you smoke weed in Colorado. It's you got to come all the way west to get the good stuff.
I ain't did that since I've been stuck with this goddamn CBD out here.
Did you see his face right when he got caught with it? He's like,
I was like, oh fuck, I forgot to hide it.
oh my god, man. Oh. All right, Kevin, your turn to wrap it up, buddy.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Drugs are the worst. Okay, don't be doing no marijuana. There's only one marijuana ruin your life. If you like what I'm doing, come catch me at Liberty Revolt Media.
All right. Well, we ran out of time for Tony Smurf.
Yeah, get that goddamn LeBron jacket. What is that?
Oh, sorry.
Is he twerking? He's dancing like AOC. Awesome.
Tobin us? Were you pulling a Tobin right there?
Tubin?
Is you tubing us?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyways, catch me over at Common Nonsense with Kevin. I'm trying to do this semi-morning show, so please come join me there.
Okay.
This has been a wonderful night.
Make sure you don't tell that story about your 6'1" sister.
I know. You see, the thing is,
So, anyways, Stoonie, go ahead.
He went black, bro. He went black. He said,
I am trying to turn it into a fucking comedy bit, and I need to nail the punchline. I'm gonna get
Okay,
it. I'm gonna
and
get
you
it.
and I need to talk because that one needs some help.
It needs some work. Okay, I need to deliver the punchline better, and also, like.
We'll workshop it. Don't worry.
Diane was wondering if you were getting a Pringle can. All right.
Yes, that was what that was. Actually, I was testing the water content of my glass here. I was like,
all right, this is by far the best show we've had. Suni, go ahead and make sure you don't tell. Kelly was there for the story, Kelly. Anyway, Suni, go ahead, wrap us up.
Hey guys. We need more conservatives need to hop on board with medicinal marijuana. I'm so serious. I've been doing lives about this on Instagram, and I've had several people hop on, cancer patients, PTSD patients, veterans, and they get on and talk about all the positive effects of medicinal marijuana when you're doing it at a therapeutic level, especially when you're dealing with, mental health. Maybe I can get up with Simone Biles, bro, and we can smoke a blunt together, and she can calm her ass the fuck down. I don't know.
That would be dope.
Americans need to think. We had fun. This is an awesome show. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
This is going to be a new dating profile for somebody out there. Single and ready to Pringle.
Hey, if I can just...
I'm throwing that on mine.
I'm going to double back on what Suni just talked about. Medical cannabis is potentially the cure to some of the ailments our country is dealing with.
Facts, man.
When it comes to drug addiction.
Should be legal.
It's been something that I have used medicinally for 10 years and still have found success in business, life, family. And I want people to know that it is an effective tool and that if you have challenges in your life that are specifically around mental illness and chronic pain, I would say are the two biggest areas, consider it as an alternative. But for sure, even if you don't want to, please look at it from a vet's perspective. They are the ones that at this point are having the hardest challenge to do what most citizens in our country can do right now, which is freely use that medication for their issue.
And I think everyone who uses marijuana should be put before a firing squad.
I'm very confused. We got to, Kevin, you are not on. You're literally like Cash. You're like Cash trying to tell a joke tonight, which is terrible because it was really dark. I had a great follow up joke to Easy because he said bets, and I was gonna say about dog smoking weed, and then you ruined it with whatever the hell that was. Anyways, all right. Take it easy, guys. Please share this. As I said, if anybody's from Dallas out there, set aside August 14th. I'll be around, or Fort Worth. I'll be in Fort Worth at your mom's house. That's literally the name of the bar. That's your mom's house. 12 to 2 o'clock. Kevin just lost it on your mom's house. That's the name of the bar.
Cut off.
And that'll be that. And then please, guys, if you're not able to afford to help us on Patreon, which helps a ton, patreon.com/BetheChange, you can help us by sharing the podcast and making sure you subscribe to it, etc. God, Kevin is high as fuck. Holy God.
Yo, Kevin's at that therapeutic level. When you start smiling and laughing at everything, you know you're good.
He has reached his medicinal peak right now, and he is absolutely out of all of the anxiety, depression, and pain he was in earlier.
He's literally wondering why
this is wonderful.
He's wondering why his dick doesn't touch anywhere near the bottom of the Pringle can, as do most.
All it ever does is slap my knee. I want to know what the fuck is wrong. Okay.
Wait, what?
You have the wrong size can. You just need to get the half stack.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, I gotta go. Y'all firing way too much shots.
Y'all need Jesus, real talk.
Nah, the weed is good, man.
Y'all need Jesus.
Kevin is high. Like
straight up though, I got this CBD. I found a CBD, like a hole in the wall CBD shop on the seawall. And these women were blazed when I walked in. I've never seen a high Japanese person blaze. And I was like, look, I smoked weed. So
don't make any jokes about Japanese people high. Don't. We still might be live. Don't make any jokes.
I need you to know. I need y'all to know. I needed this shit. Like, I'm not just high. I'm like, this is the happiest been.
We make him
happy in a long time. So this has been wonderful.
We gave him the Larry Elder treatment right there. he's Larry Elder high right now.
That should be a slogan. Get Larry Elder.
You choked from your nose, man. You knew you hit. You took like 5 pulls. I could tell, didn't you? You took like.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. That was
Kevin LaRusso has never touched drugs in his life.
No,
absolutely not. Never, ever.
Russo, we have to do shrooms.
I don't.
Oh, hey, calm down.
No.
Hey.